Colonel Mike Opoku.
Do hereby swear that the evidence I shall give
Do hereby swear the evidence I shall give
before the Commission of Inquiry
for the Commission of Inquiry
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Please be reminded that by the oath you have taken, you have made a promise to speak the truth, and the failure to do so constitutes an offense for which you be liable to punishment.
You can sit down. For the purposes of the record, please state your full name to the commission.
My Lord, I am Colonel Michael Opoku.
By your rank as a colonel, are you a military officer?
Yes, my Lord.
And you are currently with the National Security Secretariat. Am I right?
Yes, my Lord. Second.
Very well. And you are the Director of Operations of the National Security Secretariat. Am I right?
Yes, my Lord.
Now, for how long have you been with the Secretariat?
My Lord, for the past 2 years, since 2017,
Hello. Could you please describe your duties as the Director of Operations of the National Security Secretariat to the Commission?
Yes, my Lord. As the Director of Operations at the National Security Secretariat for the Ministry of National Security, I am responsible for coordinating all radio communication from the Regional Security Council to the National Security Secretariat. I am also responsible for the intervention activities of the National Security Secretariat. Yes, my Lord. As the Director of Operations at the National Security Council Secretariat, I am responsible for coordinating all the communications from the regions to the National Security Council Secretariat. I am also responsible for supervising the intervention unit of the Secretariat or the Ministry. I'm also responsible for supervising the SWAT detachment at the Ministry. And I stand by for any other task that is given to me by the Minister or the National Security Coordinator.
Now, you stand by for any task given to you by the Minister or the National Security Coordinator. Who do you report directly to?
I report directly to the Minister. At the same time, I report directly to the Coordinator, depending on which particular assignment that I'm given.
Now, on any particular assignment, if you receive conflicting instructions from these two bosses, which one are you supposed to carry out?
My Lord, I will always confirm all assignments given to me, and if they are conflicting, I'll bring it to the notice of those who gave me the assignment.
And if both of them are insisting, what would you do?
On the same assignment, I think they will be able to come to the middle level for me to execute my task.
What informs that strong belief of yours that they will always find a common ground?
Because the coordinator works under the minister.
So then, is it right to say that you report to the coordinator, who in turn reports to the minister? Is it right?
My Lord, it's not wholly right. There are some issues from the ministry I report direct to the minister as a director.
Hello. How many units do you have under your secretariat?
My Lord, if you can explain what you mean by units.
Very well. For instance, those of us outside, we know some people calling themselves national security personnel. We also know, we recently have come to know another group called the SWAT group or unit. So I'm referring to such groupings.
My Lord, the ministry has departments. We have the operations department, finance and administration, the external affairs department, general services department, the legal department, and internal affairs department.
Which of these departments do you head?
I head the operations department.
Very well. So let's stay with the operations department. How many units do you have under the operations department?
My Lord, as I stated earlier, I have the operations room as one of the units. I have the intervention unit or the human security department as one of my units. And I supervise the National Police SWAT as one of the units.
So then, putting all these units together, how many men do you have under you? Under the operation units?
My Lord, I cannot openly mention the men under me for the purpose of manpower and national security.
Now, Colonel, you are aware that on the 31st of January 2019, there was an election at the Ayawaso West Walker constituency. Are you?
Yes, my Lord. Yes, my Lord.
Very well. Did you, in person, as Colonel Opoku, am I right? Is the name Colonel Opoku?
Yes, my Lord.
Very well. Play any role in the security arrangement for the by-election?
My Lord, I would say I supported Ministry of Interior from my ministry in the security arrangement. My Lord, I would say that I supported Ministry of Interior in the by-election.
Hello. How did you carry out this support?
My Lord, On the 17th of January this year, I was invited to the Ministry of Interior. We had a meeting at the office of the Deputy Interior Minister. We had the Director General of Operations, Ghana Police, DCOP Mensa. We also had the Comptroller General of Immigration, Mr. Techi, and it was chaired by the Deputy Interior Minister, Honorable Henry Quarty. At the meeting, I was requested to support Ministry of Interior with two things. First one was to provide a communication backup for the election task force, which was headed by DCOP George Mensah. And the second request was to provide a place for them at Abelempe, which is within the Ayawaso Violence constituency, as their task force headquarters. And after that meeting, we went and greeted the Minister of Interior, Honorable Ambrose Derry, and he encouraged us to do our best to ensure a successful by-election, and that national security should give them the needed support. On 24th January, I was called again, this time to come and brief them on their request that they have made to Ministry of National Security. At this meeting, we had the Director General Police Operations, the Comptroller General of Immigration, the Regional Police Commander, Mr. George Sapon, Mr. Sapon, I'm not sure that is George, I think it's somewhere. Then Chief Superintendent Kwesi Fori, the Regional Operations Officer. As part of my brief for them, I made them aware that national security is ready to provide the communication support that they requested for. And on 31st morning, they will have their communication set, the one which is known as the quota, with the communication net. And on their second request, I intimated that the office is ready for them to use as their task force headquarters.
You done?
Yes, my Lord.
Now, so these two duties you were given at the meeting on the 17th of January, did you carry them out?
Yes, my Lord. And I have the communication network as we did for, and I can tender it in evidence.
Anyway, apart from these support services, on the day itself, and I'm referring to the 31st of January 2019, did you find yourself anywhere within the Ayawaso West Woburn constituency? I mean, you in person.
Yes, my lord.
And what took you there?
My lord, as normally in general elections, national security is not actively involved in the task force, but we provide some support covertly to such operations. For some time now, we have been monitoring movement of weapons within the country. On the 30th, we had a lot of information that people have moved from Tamale and Accra and Kumasi to join their counterparts in Ayawaso Woburn or Greater Accra in general. And most of these people had weapons on them. Late evening on 30th, my SWAT commander, who has been here before, DSP Azugu, came and reported to me that he has had an information that some of these people that we've been monitoring had come from the north and Kumasi, were moving into a house close to the La Balewashi Primary School with weapons. And all weapons, we assume, carried some ammo on them. I took this information and I asked him to stand by the SWAT team, which is made up of police personnel. Their total number is 36 or 35. And we need more than that number. I have a lot of operatives working within the system. If you need it, I'll provide it in camera about their deployment within the system. Among the operatives, I have trained about 100 of them that normally assist the SWAT team. They are not SWAT members, as they are always referred to. They are operatives who work with the SWAT team. So my DSP, after doing his assessment, came back and said he will need about 60 men. The SWAT is only 35. And 60 men means that I will need to support him with operatives. So we decided that he will use 25 of his police SWAT members, then we will augment his strength with 35 national security operatives. So in total, we had 60 members of the team, which was made up of 25 SWAT, National Police SWAT personnel on postings to national security, and 35 operatives. I issued him with an operational order to stand by to conduct confidence patrol and be prepared for any other attacks on order. Because as at that time, we were still doing surveillance on the people who had come down to Accra. The operational order was issued to them. They arranged, and by 3 a.m. on 31st January, we assembled at the Emergency Command Center with the 60 men. We had 10 vehicles. Out of the 10, the police SWAT team provided 3 vehicles, including the Hunter, that big car, which is in the videos that we see, it's called Hunter. Then I added 7 operational vehicles from my pool. By 05:30, we were all at 6:45 in the morning. My SWAT commander came to me and said they were going on confidence building patrols. The essence was to let those who have come from outside to know that we were ready to protect the people in the constituency. And nobody should take their security for granted. We had the task force also deployed all over in town. I gave him the permission and asked that we should put more emphasis as you go on the patrols, as I continue to hear from my people who were monitoring those places. Actually, there were 3 places we were monitoring. I want to put it on record. The house in question was 1. The second place was Elkin Hotel, where the MPP were also using as their operational center. And there is a place around Opoku called, I think, Skills Training Center also. That was another 3rd place. We were doing a lot of surveillance. On that particular day, I think around 8:40 something, I had a call from somebody, not from my SWAT team, that there was some firing around La Balewashi. So I tried contacting the commander of the team that went, that's the patrol team. That was DSP Azugu. I think he was also engaged on the line. It took me time, but finally I had him. And I asked him what was happening. He said, oh, there has been some problem there, and that he's taking them to the police station. So I asked him, where are you taking them? Because you have not been informed me about this incident. But he should call the COP George Manson, who is the head of the task force team, to tell him where he should take those arrested to. And I asked about the number of casualties, and he told me there were 9 men who were arrested. Nine men who were arrested. As to the state of their casualty, he couldn't give me. He only said 9 men were arrested. Subsequently, my honorable minister, Kandapa, called me to find out what was happening at the by-election area. I told him I've had information that there was some firing there, some suspects have been arrested, and I will get the full details and let him know. Within some minutes, the Minister of State for National Security also called, trying to find out what was happening. I gave him the same information that there is a problem at the Ayawaso Primary School, but full details are not yet at my end. And then when I get, I will let them know. So I think when DSP Azugu handed the suspects to East Legon Police Station, which he said he was directed by DCOP George Mensah to send them, he now gave me some brief on what had happened. So I had to call my minister to brief him, and the Minister of State too was briefed about what the DSP had given me as the occurrence of the place. The patrol, I think, reported back to my location around 9:30, 9:40. Then in the evening, we withdrew to base and made our report as requested after every operation.
Now, so from your narration so far, you personally were not in the constituency.
And Lord, I believe Bay Yard is part of the constituency.
Very well.
Yes, my Lord.
Now, you have mentioned that in two separate meetings about the security arrangement for the constituency election. The first one, you were given specific duties. Then the second one, was for you to assure them that you had carried them out. Is that not it?
Yes, my Lord.
And in none of these meetings were you asked to bring your men to the constituency. Am I right?
No, my Lord.
Now,
as part of the task force.
Very well. Now, you have told the commission that you do support in various elections. Am I right?
Yes, my Lord.
And that on the day, you and your men decided to provide similar support. Am I right?
Yes.
Now, there are reports of some men who were in black T-shirts at various polling stations who claimed to be national security operatives. Were they your men as well?
Yes, my Lord.
Did the police know about their presence?
I'm not sure. But they were there.
Anyway, you are the man in charge of operations.
Yes, my Lord.
Now you know your men. Okay, who deployed them there?
Pardon me?
Who deployed them to the
My
various?
men?
Yes,
I did.
you did.
Yes.
And yet, when I asked you, you said you weren't sure
You asked whether
the police knew they were there. Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
you said you weren't sure.
I wouldn't know.
Whose duty will it be to inform the police that national security operatives are going to be at the various polling stations? Whose duty will it be?
My Lord, they were not at the polling station as part of the task force. They were monitoring and providing surveillance for my headquarters.
And yet they were in uniform.
They were in T-shirts. Some, not all, very few. Most of them were in mufti. Most of the people at the polling stations were in mufti.
But you do agree with me that there were some who were in T-shirt word NS as in national security. Am I right?
The NSC people in T-shirt were part of the team that were used for the patrols.
There you go. Now, on an election day, for then you've had meetings with your colleagues, the policemen who were supposed to be in charge of the task force. You did not see it prudent to inform them that at least you provide surveillance. Am I right?
My Lord, I must state that it wasn't only us that were providing surveillance. I know the BNI was there. I know other agencies were also there, including the DI. Such things we normally don't inform the other people. It is mainly on need to know or need to share. There was no need to have shared this information.
So then you wouldn't be surprised if I should tell you that the Director General of Operations, Ghana Police, has been here, sat exactly where you are sitting, and said he did not know of your presence. And by that I mean your men in the constituency. Would you be surprised?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't also be surprised if I should tell you that a regional commander in whose region the election was held has been here and also states that he did not know of your presence.
My Lord, as I said, our presence in the form of the patrols or those who are doing covert
I will
operations.
come to the patrols, but
Yes.
I mean men stationed at polling stations with NSC embossed in their t-shirts.
My Lord, as I said, most of the men who are at the polling station doing covert operations were in Mufti. They were not in an attire.
But you do agree with me that some of them,
It could have been, my Lord.
is it the case or it could have been?
I know that those are asked to wear black t-shirts were supposed to be part of the patrol teams.
Now, you are supposed to be doing or carrying out covert operation. Is it proper to go to such sites with t-shirts embossed with your name?
My Lord, as I said, the embossment, as I said, those who had NSC were part of the patrol team.
Hello. I am not on the patrol team yet. We'll come there.
Yes.
Don't be in a rush. We'll come there.
I'm not, my Lord.
Very well. Let's talk about those stationed at various polling stations for now. When we get to the patrol team, I'll let you go.
Okay, my Lord.
So they were supposed, those at the polling stations, I'm asking once again, were supposed to be providing surveillance.
Yes, my Lord.
And yet, not all of them, but some of them were wearing t-shirts that readily gave them away. Yes or no?
My Lord, it's possible.
Very well. Now, there's a belief among a cross-section of Ghanaians that the presence of your men, which was so obvious, was intimidating, and that was the purpose for sending the men to the polling stations. What do you have to say?
No.
If you say no, my lord, what are you saying?
The purpose was to provide the necessary surveillance for me.
Hello. Is it part of our everyday life to be seeing national security operatives around us?
My Lord,
So conspicuously?
my Lord, as I said, most of the people who were doing surveillance were in normal civil attire.
Very well. Now, let's come to your task force. Before we get there, I have a video I want you to watch.
Yes, my Lord.
And whilst the video is being prepared, tell the commission about these civilian operatives. who were part of the task force, are they trained?
Yes,
To
my
do
Lord.
what?
They are trained to do patrols. They are trained to guard access control areas. They are trained to give protection to VIPs.
Are they trained to handle?
No, my Lord. And they were not issued weapons on that day.
Are they trained in crowd control, for instance?
No, my Lord.
Have they received training as to how to handle pressure on the job?
Yes, my Lord. And that is why they normally work under the police officers.
Now, let's deal with the numbers. According to you, you have either 35 or 36 police operatives. Which one would that be? Is it 35 or 36?
Their postal strength, I think, is 36. They were 36, but I think one chief inspector had been posted out, so they should be 35 now. The DSP will present their nominal role to the commission.
Now, you go on such an important operation, you decided to use out of 35 or 36, you decided to use 25 trained police officers. And by trained, I mean people trained to handle weapons, crowd control, pressure on the job, you name it. But added 35 civilian operatives who, according to you, are only trained to provide, if I'm wrong, correct me, security and other things without weapon handling?
Yes, my Lord. And this is not the first time that we have deployed the SWAT team with the operatives. If you will recall, there was a serious armed robbery cases at the Afram Plains. The SWAT team, together with the operatives, and National Police Operations Department were deployed in Afram Plains. It did a lot of arrests, and they were able to bring the armed robbery down. We have deployed this combined team on several occasions that they have achieved good results for the state.
I'm not inviting you to watch that yet.
Thank you, my Lord.
Now, my question is this. From your narration, on the day you had enough, and we pause that for now. We pause that for now. You had enough police operatives. In fact, 35. Same number as the civilian operatives you used. What informed your decision to, instead of using more well-trained police officers, you used less and rather used more civilian operatives? What informed that decision?
Yes, my Lord. The police are actually deployed on other duties. They are providing some guards for some VVIPs. So the number 35, you will never get 35. Actually, as a 35, I'm sure that they were about 28. And we needed to keep some of the policemen at the unit because they have their armory there. They have their armory at the SWAT. And we always need them to be guarding the place.
Now, you indicated to the commission that for that operation, you prepared an operation order. Am I right?
Yes, my Lord.
Have you got a copy of that here?
My Lord, I think you requested for it from the DSP. That's why I didn't bring a copy. So I know it has been tendered. We can get it to you later. It's ready.
Very well, so that we
Yes,
can
my
prepare.
lord.
How soon?
Maybe after today.
Can we get it by close of day today?
Yes, my lord.
Very well.
I even expect that by this time it should be at the secretariat.
Watch my video.
Thank you.
As many as 6 per polling station across the constituency. Political party agents were vigilant and ordinary people watched from afar. But it was an unusual election day. Heavily armed masked men in bulletproof vests, dressed in black polo shirts and khaki trousers, marked NSC as agents of the National Security Council, seen in police pickups, crisscrossed the main streets towards Violation, a known NDC stronghold. The arrival of the operatives in Rambo style surprises all. About 25 hooded men in 5 pickups or so jump off. In a well-orchestrated plan, they run across the compound where voters are queued waiting for their turn, creating fear and panic. Journalists begin taking pictures, and that provokes the indiscriminate mayhem visited on them. A senior immigration officer at the scene is captured blazing an SOS call as he takes cover. In this video, the suspected NPP Invisible Force members are captured beating a man mercilessly, kicked in the face, whilst others pounce on any civilian in sight, punching them and beating others with the butt of their guns. The chaos forces people to flee as policemen try desperately in vain to restrain the NSC agents. After about 6 minutes, they proceed to their next target. The residence of the NDC parliamentary candidate, Delali Kwesi, few yards away behind the Violation Presby Basic 1JHS polling station. His house is besieged by the armed men, threatening to shoot as they are confronted by the NDC candidate supporters. They point guns as they demand access to search the house, opening fire with live bullets, leaving at least 18 injured. 2 near-fatal cases were recorded. Bullet shells and blood stains outside the residence attract onlookers, while irate persons seeking to fight back are seen being calmed by the police.
Don't take the laws into your own hands. The police, we are managing the situation.
Senior officers, including Director in charge of Operations Greater Accra, Chief Superintendent Kwesifori, rushed to the scene but look on helpless.
I don't know those who came here.
Do you know the men?
This is something that we need to investigate. But I don't know those who came here. So all our policemen are not much you can see from wherever.
So you know the men on the ground. You know your men on the ground.
I know the men on the ground.
And they are not much.
And I can see them when I see them.
MP for Ningo Pram Pram, Sam George, is seen questioning the shooting incident. He is confronted for daring to face them, and he gets his first slap. Listen and watch carefully as one of the men shouts, "This is the beginning of 2020. In the chaos, police reinforcement and military teams arrive, armed but unable to stop the violence. The masked men return to the school compound, finish up with more beatings before setting off. The voting center is deserted while officers try to secure the ballot box and voting materials. NDC National Chairman Samuel Opoku rushes to the scene, meets the traumatized candidate, and announces NDC's decision to boycott the polls after a brief meeting to prevent the violence from escalating.
You've seen the video with me.
I have.
Until today, have you previously seen it?
I've seen it, but not in this sequence, my lord.
So the men in
The
the
previous ones I watched, you can watch it again and again. The immigration officer was moving when I think Honorable St. George slapped. But in this situation, the reporter said a different thing altogether. My Lord, I said I've watched this video on my phone before, and this video doesn't follow the sequence of events as we all knew it on the first day. If anybody can get the first day video, you see this one is a doctored video. The immigration officer that we saw there moving away moved when St. George was being slapped. And you could see that he was moving away. He didn't want to be an evidence to whatever was happening. But in the video now, we are seeing a different thing with a different narration. Whether those mayhem happened before they went to the house, from the video, is the opposite way. So this video, I don't think, is the true reflection of whatever happened there. And this is what our pressmen must be very cautious in doing. Because the first footage I watched from the office at Abelempe reported that 2 people had died. And they quoted a Joy FM reporter. I think we can get that person to confirm it. That according to this report,
before you go on.
I don't think, but I think we can see it. When we go back to the original videos, a Joy FM reporter had reported that 2 people had died. I had to do a lot of checks before I could even report to my minister. And he was insisting that the reporter says 2 people had died. So this video here, maybe it's meant for some purpose, but not to be used by the commission. It's a well-doctored video that we are all watching.
Very well. Now, what I want to know from you is whether or not the men seen in the video are members of the SWAT team to begin with.
Yes, my Lord. The men I saw are part of the SWAT and the operatives that form the patrol team.
Very well. Now, in the video, which I must admit are pieces of videos joined together, so are likely not to follow the sequence as you are saying. We see 2 differently dressed personnel. One in black top and khaki trousers, and the other in black top, brown vest with a brown desert boot. Which of these 2 is the civilian operative? Which one is the police operatives?
My Lord, as the DSP who was in charge of the team said the other time, the attire that was required of them on that day was black top with either a blue jeans or their training trousers, which is the brown one. All those in brown and black, I think except one policeman who was in black, most of them were operatives.
You were telling me about who was wearing who on the day. Have you finished?
Yes, my Lord. And even the original videos, if you check, some who were with Honorable St. George were wearing brown trousers and black top. Some were black. And there was one particular person who said, Okilu, this is the beginning of 2020. And that's why they changed the map as if it was coming from the vehicle. That man was in black top and brown trousers. We are mixed. The people who are with St. George and my men.
So then, if I get you right, what you are telling the commission is that on the day, not only your men were found in black tops and khaki trousers, is that what you're saying?
Yes, my Lord.
But then you can identify your men.
Yes, my lord.
And some were in there with khaki trousers
Yes, my
and
lord.
black top.
Yes, my lord. You requested for the names. You are providing the names of all the 35 men.
How soon are we getting the list?
Oh, you requested from the DSP, and it's
That's
ready.
right.
I'm sure today you'll bring it.
Very well.
Yes. I called him, and he said he had been asked to bring it today or tomorrow.
Now, in the video, you saw some men also in masks.
Yes, my lord.
Are those your men?
The masked men. Yes, my lord.
And they included the police operatives and the civilian operatives, am I right?
Yes, my lord.
Now, these men, according to you, had the first duty of building confidence, am I right?
Confidence patrols.
Confidence patrols.
Yes, my lord.
Colonel,
Yes, my lord.
assist us.
Yes, my lord.
What does confidence patrol mean?
My lord, the essence of that patrol was to let the people within the constituency know that the security forces were ready to ensure that no vigilante group, as they are known to be, could disturb the election on that day. So we are rather giving confidence to the populace to ensure that they come out and do what they are supposed to do and do their work as required of them.
Confidence patrol mask. Are you sure that will give the needed assurance to the electorate?
Yes, my lord. I think the mask, as my DSP said, was mosquito, but it wasn't for mosquitoes. I think it was just a joke that he made. But we normally mask to ensure that our operatives are not seen. Operatives live within the communities. If you see a policeman even masked, it means that policeman is living within the community and he can be seen today or tomorrow after operation. So normally, those who live within or who are likely to be seen and their cover will be blown are masked. And in this situation, those who are masked, that was the essence. We didn't want their cover to be blown. If you check further, after this, I've seen a lot of pictures in town, some wanted with some of my men, and others, they mistook them to be our men, but they are the National Police Force at some houses, some were at some funerals, and they were trying to put up their face before the populace. So you can imagine if we had not masked their faces now, what would have happened to the people who went on that confidence patrols? And I will give you an audio which will not be played here, where some were saying that they were going to go after these masked men. I don't know how they were going to remove their mask and follow them. And if the worst should happen, they are likely to kidnap their family to ensure that these people will come forward. I will provide the audio for you.
You have it readily available.
It's in the car. After this, I can provide for you.
Very well. Colonel, first of all, let me clear this. You said the explanation given by your commander CDC or DSP? DSP Azulu was meant to be a joke, am I right?
My Lord, you remember he gave 2 reasons. One was the fact that when they go to certain places, there will be mosquitoes, so they normally carry them along. Then they use it to cover their face. And the second reason he gave was the fact that they don't want to be seen because they live in the community. But I think people have taken the mosquito one as the one of importance more than keeping their identity away from the populace. That's why I said that one, we should take it as a joke, because that early morning, maybe there wasn't much mosquitoes there. But we were working deep into the night, so maybe he wanted to talk like that.
Hello.
Yes, my Lord.
At what point was the decision taken that the men should be wearing masks?
My Lord, before this set off, it has been our normal practice that some who wouldn't like to be seen as working for national security are always masked. Even at my headquarters, when they come and we assemble, they always want to mask themselves, because some of the work they do for us, saving a lot of things in this country. I must say that as at yesterday night, we were able to arrest somebody with a pistol. It was through these operatives. The case was taken to Legon police station, and this morning we've gone further to search if we can get more pistols from him. These same masked people do it, and they do it well for the state.
Hello. Is it right to assume that you followed the proceedings on the day DSP Azugu appeared before the commission?
My Lord, partially, because I had a meeting at Iyoko, so I listened to it, then left to attend a meeting at Iyoko.
In the video you just watched, did you see him in DSP Azugu?
Yes, my Lord, I saw him.
You saw him at the same time as some masked men, did you?
Yes, my Lord.
Would you be surprised if I should tell you that DSP Azugu painted the picture as if he did not know that these men were going to use their mask? Would you be surprised?
No, my Lord. That part I didn't listen to him, but I'm
I am
sure
suggesting that to you. Would you be surprised?
I wouldn't, because he was here for almost 4 hours, and I'm sure he was his thinking capability started giving him some problems. So he had to, at times, make some jokes out of some of these things.
So, hello. Are you saying that he was supposed to know and that he knew that on the day the mask they were carrying was supposed to be used at some point? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, my Lord.
There are a lot of pictures going around. Some of them purporting to be some of your men who, after the operation, are taking off their mask and taking pictures with some members of society. Have you come across any?
I have, but I might be frank with you. All those pictures were pictures on Facebook, I think between 2017 and 2018. There was one, you see a lot of SWAT people in brown, who say SWAT, they were in brown in a house. That is Kumasi, counter-terrorist unit of the Ghana police. There is one, you see 5 people. If you check the 5, they are holding 2 AKs. At the extreme end are Koforia CTU members. Those who were holding the weapons, I think the 2nd and the 4th, depending on where you count it for, are members of my team. 3 of them were members, and those at the extreme, which I think somebody had an earring, is a national police officer. He's not a member of my team. The weapon they were holding were for those officers. They are not weapons of national security. They are not weapons of the operatives. They took it and they posted it on Facebook. There was one I saw where somebody was sitting in the car singing and enjoying. If your IT can go and check on that video on the internet, that video has been on the internet since 2018. It is never true that any of our operatives and SWAT members after the operation went out and they were jubilating. I want them not to take pictures. I want them not to do anything to show their identity.
Hello.
Yes, my Lord.
The 31st of January 2018 was an election day. Am I right?
Yes, my Lord, a by-election day.
A SWAT team was supposed to be in the constituency for confidence patrol.
Yes, my Lord.
And they went full geared with,
My Lord, not all of them.
but most of them. Am I right?
Can you define the full gear? Because I've been hearing you saying well armed and all those things.
Very well.
If you can define the full gear for
Very
me.
well. At least from the first part of our footage,
Yes, my Lord.
as we have already agreed,
Yes, my
we
Lord.
see two different set of men
Yes, my
with two
Lord.
different set of dresses.
Yes, my Lord.
One group is wearing just a black top with brown trousers and a desert brown boot.
Yes,
I
my
think
Lord.
that is what it's called. A brown desert boot
Desert boot, yeah.
Very
Yes, my
well.
Lord.
with their mask on.
Yes, my Lord.
Then there is another group with brown trousers, brown vest, black, some say sweater, and some of them carrying, if I say weapon, I'm not necessarily saying fire weapon, but something that looks like knife,
Torchlights.
very good. These are the people I'm referring to,
Yes, my Lord.
fully geared.
Yes, my Lord.
Let me ask you this. Is it a sight we normally see in our communities?
My Lord, as I explained earlier, this is not the first time the operatives have blended into this uniform with the SWAT. Blending it gives the identity off. And when they finish the operation, they are supposed to melt into society. Anybody who saw them assumed that they were police, and that is how it's supposed to be. Because some of the police were in their dress. Operatives can join the military for operation, and when they join, we are likely to kit them like the military. And when they finish, we take everything from them and they melt into society. That is how the work is. And what you saw there is nothing strange at all. It's because of maybe what happened that people are questioning. Because people saw them driving and nobody ran away from them. Nobody ran away from them. When they went to Afram Plains to do anti-armed robbery and those things, nobody ran away from them. Yes, my Lord. Yes, my Lord.
What uniform were they wearing? I mean, the SWAT team.
Black top. And some had a brown because the Kofodia CTU were also around. So they blended with them. And every report about arrests and arms that were retrieved was done in the name of Ghana police, but not national security. But we did a lot of arrests and we did a lot of arms cache recovery.
From planes,
Yes, my Lord.
were the operatives, and I mean police and civilian, in mask?
Yes, my Lord. Some were in mask. Most of the assignment they were done in the night, so the mosquito explanation was very valid at Afram Place. You know the number of mosquitoes in the Afram Place area.
But none of the operations were carried out in the day. Am I right?
Some were done in the day.
Afram Place.
Yes, some were
in
done in
Mosque.
the day. Yes, my lord.
Now, Colonel, you have seen the video,
Yes, my lord.
which are different videos pieced together.
Yes, my lord.
You don't doubt your men being in the first part of the video,
No, my lord.
where we see these brown uniform men chasing people around. You don't doubt that, do you?
No, my lord. But as I said, some of Honorable Sam George's boys were in brown and black, like my boys.
Okay. Now, you saw people being brutalized, did you?
I saw somebody being kicked on the video. I saw it.
Did you see some being hit as well?
I do.
Did you also see scenes in which police officers were trying to calm your men down and yet they couldn't?
I saw my DSP there, but actually I didn't know that he was doing some gestures, but I cannot interpret the gesture.
Okay.
He was doing. I can't.
That portion of the video,
Yes, my
have
lord.
you previously seen it?
Yes, my lord.
Very well. And have you asked questions about it?
Yes, my lord.
And
I asked my DSP why he could not control the scene.
before you come to the control,
Yes.
has he told you where exactly that happened?
No, my lord.
And you have not seen the need to inquire?
No, my lord.
So as you sit here, you wouldn't even know where it happened.
No, my lord.
So if I standing here should suggest to you, I'm not saying that's the case, that it happened at the polling station, you won't have an answer, would you?
I wouldn't. No, my lord.
Would that not be the prudent thing to do to find out where it happened?
My lord, I can check later. Because I said there are a lot of doubts about most of these videos that were going around. The initial ones were correct, but subsequently, people have tried to doctor and do a lot about the videos, which I think is not good for our press.
Okay. Now, the men being manhandled, you've told the commission you do not know where that happened, but have you found out why?
The initial video I watched, it's like he attacked somebody and that person attacked, then they rushed on him. That is what I saw. But I don't know whether it's the same video that we are seeing. If you check the initial video, St. George was shouting, "Why do you kill a man in his own house?" and all blah blah blah. On the left of that video, you saw that attack. Right after that, you saw the St. George guy. I don't know whether it was his hand or something. "I will kill you, will kill you. This is the beginning of 2020, will kill you." Subsequently, as I watched this one, I didn't see them because, as you said, it's a patched video that has been put
I do
together.
agree with you that I did not even also see you kill a man in his house.
Yes, my lord.
This initial video you are referring to, do you have it in your possession?
My lord, I have to check. I'm sure people will have it. I will check and give it to the committee.
Very well.
The initial video you are referring to, who filmed it, who took it?
My lord, the author, I don't know. I wouldn't know.
There's nothing on it which indicates the source.
No, my lord. Most of them were on the internet.
Okay.
Yes, my lord.
Colonel,
Yes, my lord.
has it come to your attention that on the day there there was a shooting incident in the La Bawaleshi area and close to the Presby JHS polling station. Has that come to your attention?
Yes, my lord, in a report submitted by my DSP.
Now, according to the report submitted by your DSP, first of all, what led to the shooting incidents? Before you come to that, what, first of all, brought your men to that vicinity?
My lord, as I stated earlier, they were on a confidence patrols, and we have mentioned to them the 3 important places that we were putting surveillance. Opoku, skilled training area, warehouse around La Baliwashi, and Elkin Hotel. Elkin Hotel. Most especially the warehouse, my commander had intimated that they were moving in with some weapons. I've been hearing stockpile, but as a military officer, I wouldn't say a stockpile of weapons. I wouldn't say that until I'm able to see the quantity and quantum of the weapons and ammunition. Then I can say that it's a stockpile of weapon. But they were moving with some weapons on them. And most especially those who had come from Tamale and Kumasi. And after the arrest, the picture I saw one huge person, and I was told he's the leader of the Hawks vigilante group. I actually Googled the picture, and I saw that he was the leader of the Hawks. He's the face of Hawks on internet. There's some huge man you see at the back, Hawks, fair. He was one of those who were arrested. So it could be that the Hawks were the Kumasi boys, and the people who had come from the north, somewhere also in their house. And they were the people that we had information were moving in with some weapons and ammunition. But I wouldn't say stop. It's a too big a word in my professional balance.
And what, according to your report, led to the commotion and shooting?
I know, according to my lord, according to the reports I had from my tactical commander on ground, that is DSP Azugu, they had some problems with some guys who had moved into the La Baliwashi primary, the A and B polling stations on the pretext of coming to provide security for the polling station. And he advised them that there was enough security men on ground and that they could not be deployed there. He also mentioned that Honorable Okovandaboy intervened and the problem there was solved. But when they finished, they moved that structure that would be monitoring. And as they moved there, some started surging from that place, throwing stones. They heard some gunfire and whatever he reported here as it went on. Because I wasn't there, I'm depending on the reports. I can give a vivid account of what actually happened on the ground.
Hello.
Yes, my Lord.
So then are you saying that the report given to you is not detailed enough? Is that what you're saying?
To me, it's detailed. What I needed to have, they are all in the report. And I think he has tendered in or is tendering in today.
So then I expect you to tell the commission, because that is your source of information.
Yes, my Lord.
Is that not it?
Yes, my Lord.
So forget about what he has told the commission and tell the commission from the information you have per the report, the details of what happened.
Yes, my Lord. So, when according to the reports, when they started moving and the people started throwing stones at them, and there was some firing behind them, they also fired warning shots into the air. And according to the reports, which were verified from the ammo issued for the day and what was returned to the SWAT team on that day, they have lost or expended 6 rounds of AK. 6 rounds of AK. They managed to get close to the house. The gate was locked, so they could not enter. And their intention of trying to cordon the place was aborted. And I side with him for aborting the cordon because as part of the basic principles of internal security operations, there are 3 main basic principles. There must be justification for whatever action you are taking. There should be a minimum force, and you must prevent the situation from escalating. And I think they used the last principle of preventing what was happening into degenerating into a worse situation. After all, we had information about these weapons that were going into the house from within them, and we will get the weapons at the appropriate time. So I side with him for aborting the operation. He said from there they moved back, and as they moved back, there was some issues or altercation. I don't know much about that one, but according to him, he was in front of the vehicles, and Honorable Sam Jordan had a problem with one of our operatives, where it led to an assault on the Honorable Minister, Honorable MP, sorry.
Very well. Hello.
Yes, my Lord.
The men told you that some men were throwing stones at them. That's what
Yes,
you're
my
saying.
Lord.
These men who were throwing stones, have they also told you where exactly they were?
Those who were throwing stones, they were coming from the house that was under surveillance.
And told you they have stones in the house.
I don't know. I wouldn't know where they had the stones from, but they said they were pelting them with stones. My Lord.
Help the commission here.
Yes, my Lord.
They were pelted with stones
Yes, my
by
Lord.
men coming from the house. But then we cannot tell whether they had the stones in the house or they got outside, picked stones and started throwing. Is that what we are saying?
My Lord, I wouldn't say from the house. From the report, from the general, it means they were coming from the house general direction, but not from within the house. Nobody could confirm, because I think the gate was at their blind side. The gate was not facing people. It was at their blind side, and they came from the back throwing. So they wouldn't know whether the stones were picked from the house or they were picked outside the house at their blind side.
Now, you have also indicated to the commission that your men gave warning shots. Is that so?
Yes, my lord, as indicated in the report.
And according to the report, they gave 6 warning shots.
Yes, my lord.
How many rounds of ammunition were issued on the day?
My lord, that answer can be answered by the DSP. He issued ammunition to them. I don't issue ammunition to them. The procedure at the National Security, let me be frank with you, we don't have ammunition to be issued. The SWAT team indents for ammunition from police operations at the police headquarters. They approve and supply the SWAT team. So the SWAT commander is responsible for the issue of ammunition. The weapon they are using, which is AK, we issue them 25 AKs, but we could not issue them ammunition. The AK were issued to the people we met. We met the SWAT team. I met the SWAT team there. And in course of the changeover between myself and my predecessor, I had to follow all weapons that had been issued. So I made my armed storeman to go to wherever the previous officer had issued weapon to them. And they went and inspected the 25 weapons at the SWAT team. We had some weapons with the Jubilee House. We had to go and inspect. We had some weapons that had been issued for personal protection of certain VVIPs. We had to actually inspect them. We had some weapons with some individuals that at that time I thought they didn't need the weapons. So I had to recall all the weapons. All those who had weapons that they didn't need the weapons again, I had to recall. And there are documents in the office to show all these things.
Hello.
Yes, my lord.
In the course of your earlier account, you indicated that out of the ammunitions issued for the day, 6 were shot. Am I right?
Yes, my lord.
And my question was the number of ammunitions issued for the day.
My lord, I called my DSP with the book, but I cannot give you the figure as I'm sitting here. Actually, he came with all those documents here the day he was here. I'm sure within that long hours he forgot. And I know the commission has asked him to produce all those evidence. So they will all be sent to the secretariat, my lord. Very well.
Now, have you seen photographs of wounded men said to have sustained their injuries at the scene of the shooting? Have you seen any?
No, my lord. Injuries, my lord, the injuries, the one at the police station where you saw some blood on somebody's dress. Yes, that one I've seen it. And that's where I said I saw that huge person. When I got to know he's the face of the Hawks in the news.
Are you referring to one of the men arrested by the
Yes.
SWAT team?
Yes, my lord. A tall, fair one. I don't know his name. But when you Google formation of Hawks, you will see him. You will see face, you will see his back and everything. He's the same person. And I'm told he's the chairman of the Hawks organization.
You didn't see the need to download a copy of the Google picture?
No, my lord, but I can give you the link. If you go to Google anyway, just type NDC Hawks, you'll see him.
NDC Hawks.
Yes, my lord.
Very well. Very well.
My Lord, I've seen them.
Now, out of these pictures, you have removed one. Why did that particular one attract you?
My Lord, I must be seen them before.
Very well.
But this particular picture, I have seen it before.
Very well.
I have seen a video where he narrates how he was beaten and that he's national security of NDC because they are not in power. They are around, but when they come to power, they will be at the national security. So he refers to himself as NDC national security. So this one, I've seen the video and I can confirm it's the same person I'm seeing here.
Now, Colonel, before you place that one there, will you, for the purposes of the record, describe the picture?
My Lord, I can see two men and a hand of a third person. The one on the extreme left is dressed like our Igbo brothers, with a cap on. I don't know him. Then the one on the right is my friend, who is also a national security somewhere, with a singlet which is blood stained. There is a plaster on his left side of the head on top of the ear. And I think at this particular side there is supposed to be a plaster there, but it cannot be seen very well. They are in a room, and I should think it should be a hospital with M1 or something written at the background.
Colonel, you referred to this person as your friend. What do you mean?
Oh, I'm a national security operations man. So if we say it's a national security personnel or operative, that's why I said my friend. All operatives are my friend. Let me state here that operatives can be everywhere. I wouldn't mind recruiting somebody within a place that people may not even accept. But for the purpose of the survival of the state, if that person will contribute to the survival of the state, I will recruit him as an operative.
Very well. Since you have identified this picture, we'll have to tender it through you because you've made an identification as the commission's exhibit tendered through you.
Yes, my lord.
Now, I want you to go through the pictures again. In this picture, what do you see? The first one I mean.
My lord, I can see Honorable Samuel Okujeto and some other people. I don't know their names, but because he's a public figure, I know him to be Honorable Samuel Okujeto. And the background of this, the left background of this picture, there's somebody seated there with a plaster at the back of the head in black t-shirt, I think blue jeans. Just after him, there's somebody in yellow shirt with a plaster at the back of his head. There's this particular person seated in a chair with an apple bag. I can see others, and I think this is a reporter with a video. Other people over there. At the background, you see a vehicle and a building. This second picture, I see our former president, President Mahama, holding the hand of somebody in a chair. That person has bandage on the 2 legs and holding his chin. Behind him are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men. I think this should be a camera or something with somebody whose shoulder is showing, and there's a last person here whose hand is showing. And down here you can see John Mahama. There's this other person in this picture who has a bandage on his right arm. I don't know him, and I've never seen him before. This picture shows somebody with a grip bandage on his foot, and then his right leg. Then in this picture, there's somebody on the bed shaking hands with the honorable who won the Ayawaso Violence election, and this is the deputy information minister. And there's another person whose face is showing. I should think it should be Ayawaso or somebody. I've talked about all these ones already.
So, Colonel, you will agree with me that in all these pictures, apart from the one showing the MP for the area, you can see men with plasters covering parts of either their heads or shoulder or foot.
Yes, my lord, I can see.
Very well. Now, these are said to be men who sustained injuries during the commotion or the attacks of the SWAT team. Have you previously seen this?
No, my lord.
In your testimony, you indicated that you are aware that an honorable member of parliament was assaulted. Am I right?
Yes, my lord. It's an open knowledge.
Have you seen the videos?
Yes, my lord. I told you I saw the video, the initial one. Very well.
And you can identify the person who slapped the honorable member of parliament in the first video. Am I right?
Yes, my lord.
And do you admit that he is one of your men?
Yes, my lord. He's one of the operatives, not the police SWAT.
Very well. What action have you taken so far against this man?
My lord, as at now, we've asked him to stand down on operations. I think my minister said it, and then the SWAT commander also repeated the same thing here.
Now, your men were seen in police-branded vehicles.
Yes, my lord.
Who owns those vehicles?
The police SWAT at the National Security Council Secretariat. They have 2 hunters. That huge car you see, there are 2 of them. Then they have Toyota Land Cruisers, I think about 4 or 5. They have Hyundai vehicles, all branded police SWAT.
Colonel,
Yes,
I'd
my
like to
lord.
thank you for your testimony. I think you have clarified a number of issues, especially in regard to testimony previously that we have heard previously.
Yes, my lord.
You indicated that you have an audio recording for us, right?
Yes, my lord. I'll provide it.
Okay. You also indicated that you referred to an initial video. Do you have a copy of that video which you refer to as the initial video?
My lord,
Which
I'll
you
look for
claim-
it.
which-
I don't have, but I'll look for it.
Which you claim to be more genuine what you saw.
Yes, my lord.
Okay. We would like to we have some questions for you,
Yes, my lord.
but because of the time, we would like to postpone those questions for another date.
Yes, my lord.
We would like you to come back on Monday
Yes, my lord.
at 10 a.m.
Yes, my lord.
So try and get available for us all relevant materials, whether they are reports, videos, audios that you think are relevant to the matter that we're investigating.
Yes, my lord.
Okay?
I will, my lord.
All right. So you can go now, and we'll resume your examination on Monday at 10 o'clock.